Hey everybody, it's Kate, the West Coast Paper Crafter, and you are joining me March 6th for the first project in my Memorable Blooms card class at home. Tonight I'm going to show you how to make this simple design that I think is very pretty and a little bit unusual because of the monochromatic colors that I use for the flowers. So I'm just going to adjust my laptop so I can see my hands and make sure I am in good camera view. And we'll get started. All right, so tonight I am using the Memorable Blooms stamp set. I'm also using a textured notes die. I'm using this one, which happens to be 3 1/4 by 4 3/4. So if you don't have this particular die set, then just cut your cardstock to 3 1/4 by 4 3/4. So this is a brand new set of dies, and I really think I'm going to get a lot of use out of it because it just adds a little something extra to the borders of your layers. So I love it. Hey Susan, thanks for tuning in. And then I'm also going to use the Soft Waves 3D embossing folder. Now, if you don't have this embossing folder or the dies or the stamp set, just use whatever you have in your stash. That will work for this design, which is pretty much everything. All right, so let's get started. I have got a pool party card base. This is 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, and I've scored and folded at 4 1/4 on the long side, and that makes up the card base. Then I've got a piece of basic black that I've cut to 4 by 5 1/4, a pool party layer, and this is 3 3/8 by 4 7/8. And then I've got the textured notes die cut. I don't know if my camera will focus, but you can see that fancy little border. I just like it. I love it so much, and all the dies are a little bit different. Well, they might not be all different, but there's different borders. I didn't actually count them and check to see if they were all different, but you get what I'm saying. All right, so if you don't have the die cut, just cut your basic white to 3 1/4 by 4 3/4, and that will work just fine. So the first thing that we'll do is emboss our piece of black. So I've already gone ahead and embossed with the 3D waves. I'll hold it up so you can see that. And then we're just going to glue that down onto the card base. Get that out of the way. You know, one thing I forgot to do to get set up was check my glue. I always like to check my glue before I start a video to make sure that I have enough glue for one, and that my glue isn't clogged. So must be my lucky night because my glue is going to behave, which is good because I actually don't know where my backup glue bottles are at the moment. I'm in a bit of a craft mess because I've been designing cards for this class. So when I do that, my craft space is super messy. Hello, Kathy, you made it. Hello, Jackie, thanks for tuning in. So I've just glued down that embossed piece of black cardstock onto the card base. And then we'll do a little bit of stamping and coloring, and we'll layer these two pieces together. So this is a very simple design. It comes together pretty quickly. I think the thing that maybe takes the most time is coloring in your leaves. So I'm using the sentiment from the stamp set that says love and thanks, and I'm just going to stamp that right in the top right corner of this piece of paper. I'm going to try to get it even. It's a little difficult because I can't get my head right over my stamp set, but I'll do my best. Not bad. A little off, but that's okay. So if you are stamping at home, it really helps when you can get your head right over your stamp, but my camera's in the way. So now I'm going to use the big floral image from the Memorial Blooms stamp set. And I am going to stamp that underneath my sentiment and just at a slight angle. All right, there we go. I'm going to get that out of the way. I don't need that anymore. All right, so our card front looks like so. And yes, I know my sentiment's a little crooked. I'm going to have to live with it. Hello, Lou. Thanks for tuning in. Hello, Lisa. All right, so if you don't like the monochromatic color scheme, then just color in any colors you want. I'm going to use Stampin' Blends. If you don't have Stampin' Blends, use markers, watercolor pencils, whatever you have on hand. So I'm going to start out with my darkest shade, which is light basic black. I need to put on my glasses so I can see what I'm doing. Just for reading, I need glasses for close-up work. So I'm going to color in the leaves that are the smallest leaves in my darkest color. Now I won't do all of them because I'm going to keep you guys for like 20 minutes while I color everything in, but I'm just choosing one type of leaf in one shade. So in this floral image, there's 3 different types of leaves. So I'm just going to go ahead and color in one kind of leaf in all the same shade, and then I'll choose another shade for the big fat leaves. Hey Liz, all right, catch the replay, it's always available. Now I've got a light gray granite and a dark smoky slate. So for the bigger leaves, I'm going to use the light gray granite. I'm just going to color in those bigger leaves in this shade. And I'm not even going to worry about shading them in with the 2 shades of Stampin' Blends. I'm just going to color them all one shade. All right, well, you get the idea. I'm not going to color all of them. And then I've got my dark smoky slate, and I'm going to go ahead and color that 3rd type of leaf. So what I mean by 3 different leaves is you can see you've got these kind of bigger, broad leaves, and then the medium size leaves that have a bit of detail, and then there's just some really small leaves. So I'm just choosing to give them all their own shade. Now, oh good, I'm glad you like the monochromatic, Wendy. And I hope the weather in Kamloops is good. I hope the weather is good in a couple weeks because it's spring break and my son and I might do a little bit of traveling and see where we get. We don't get off the island very often, so he's really looking forward to getting out and doing something. I just don't know if my husband's coming with or not. He might not come. And that's okay. I'm not afraid to do a little road trip without him. Hello, Debbie. All right, now I have gone ahead and colored in a piece already, so you didn't have to watch me painstakingly color all the leaves in. And you can see I've used 3 different shades on the leaves. And this time I did stamp my sentiment straight because I could get my head right over it. And then what I also added, and this is optional, but I think it really brings this project to light, but I went ahead with my Wink Stella and I colored over all of this image. I'm just going to touch it up a bit with the Wink Stella. So I did the leaves, I did the flowers, and I even went over the sentiment. So I'm going to hold that up. I'm not sure if you're going to see the shimmer from the camera view, but with the naked eye, you can really see the shimmer. I think if I bend the paper, you can see it, but it really makes it pop. So I quite like the Wink Stella on this project. Hello, Kate. Thanks for tuning in. Now we're just going to mat our basic white onto the pool party. Add a little bit of linen thread and pop this up on the card front. So it's pretty simple. I do try to start out these card classes at home with the easiest project first, with the exception of last month, because I think the first one we did was that pop-up card with the mushrooms, but I only did that one first because I had so many requests when I showed the one I made with the little dinosaur stamps that I didn't want to make people wait any longer to see how to do that card because it was pretty cute. All right, so I've just glued this down. You know, the benefit for me to pre-stamp and color in a layer piece is that I don't get ink on it. Because when I'm crafting live, I tend to get ink on my projects. I should probably be careful. I'm going to jinx myself, and you never know. I'll end up getting ink on this yet. So now I'm just going to wrap some linen thread around this layer a couple times, and I'm going to tie off a bow on the right edge of the card. My son was sick last week with the flu. He missed a few days of school, and sure enough, I have since picked up his bug, and I am definitely looking forward to the weekend and getting in more sleep. And I was feeling pretty crappy today, and normally I'd consider taking a day off work, but I couldn't do it because I have so many things to finish before I go on holidays that I just couldn't lose a day. I didn't want to come back to it. You're right, Shannon. I think Wink Castella is a must-have tool. Also handy are reverse tweezers if you need a little help tying a bow. I do happen to have my pair with me, and if you've never used reverse tweezers before, you just push them together and they open up. And what I do with bows that are kind of tricky is I'll use them as an extra set of fingers to just hold down that string while I tie a knot. But I've had a lot of practice tying linen thread, so I don't usually need my reverse tweezers, but it is there if you need a little extra help with your bows. Grab yourself a pair of reverse tweezers. Mine came with like a handy little kit for my Cricut, but I think you could get reverse tweezers anywhere. All right, there is our front panel ready to be popped up on the card. I'm just going to flip it over and add some dimensionals to the back. So I have 2 more cards to design for this class. This will be every Thursday. I'm going either live or I'm going to post a video depending where I'm at during spring break, because I don't know if I'll be able to go live or not. So I will do some pre-recordings that I'll have handy just in case. And later tonight, I'm going to try to design one more card and get the other one designed for tomorrow so I can have all my card kits ready to go and in the mail by tomorrow night. All right, there we go. Here is our card. Now, you can leave it like this. I think it's beautiful. Or you can add some embellishments, and I am going to add some of the pecan pie and clear ribboned adhesive back dots. I'll add the clear. Now, I don't know if you'll be able to see. I'm going to hold it up and see, but these little gems have little, I don't know exactly what to call them, but there's like a texture or background inside these gems. It's subtle, but when I bend it, you can see it. So it's kind of neat. I like them. Now I need my take your pick tool because these are kind of, oops, these are a pain to get off the sheet actually because they're so flat. Oh, here it is. So if you have your take your pick tool with a putty end, then it's going to be a little bit easier to pull these embellishments off the sheet. They're just really flat. Like some embellishments, I can go ahead with my scissors and pick them up and put them on my paper or even use my fingers, but not these ones. They're too flat. I just don't have the finger dexterity or whatever it is. I don't know, but I can't get them with my fingers. Maybe I need to grow out my fingernails. Lisa, you love your Wink Castella? I love mine too. I have two, and they're both almost empty, so I need to order some and also order some cardstock while I'm at it. If some of you follow other Stampin' Up! Demonstrators, or if you are a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, you've probably already heard that in May, the price of cardstock is going to go up, and also the amount of cardstock that you get in a package is going to be reduced, so shrinkflation. So if you need to get some cardstock, or if you're running low, or you just like to be thrifty, now is probably a good time to stock up on some colors, especially thick basic white, because that's not going to be available in the 8.5 by 11 in May, or when the new catalog comes out. You can still get thick basic white, but as I understand it, it'll just be in the 12 by 12 sheets. Right now, the thick basic white, last I checked, was out of stock, but it is going to be back in stock before the price increase. So if you like your thick basic white, I'm going to turn the camera around, then you might want to think about stocking up on some colors. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news. I don't even want to talk about price increases because it's just something that I think we all have been dealing with for a long time, with inflation and grocery prices and gas prices. At least on the island, gas prices seem to be outrageous sometimes, but I get it. It's part of life, but it still hurts, and nobody likes it when there's a price increase. So even me, it doesn't make me happy. So I'm going to stock up on some of my favorite colors before the prices go up, especially basic white, because I think there's a big change to basic white too, but I don't want to. I think normally when you get basic white, it comes in a pack of 48, but I think that's changing. But I don't want to say that for sure. I'm going to double check before I say for sure basic white is changing, but maybe some of you have already know. I think I heard that basic white was going to be 20 sheets in a pack instead of 48, but maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. Leanne, if you're talking about the thick basic white, I'm pretty sure it's going to come back in stock if you check the inventory status report, unless that's changed since I checked this afternoon. I don't know. But anyway, on a brighter note, I hope you guys like this card that we made tonight. And next week is going to be even better. And I was doing some designs. I'm going to show you my fails. So I was trying to come up with some sort of like a stamp technique, like a faux watercolor technique. And I thought this was so clever, and it was a fail. So this did not make it in the card class at home. This is one of my fails. And I think what I don't like about this is maybe my watercolor is too dark. I'm not too sure, but I did this with Stampin' Right markers and a water spritzer and a block. So I'm not too sure. Maybe it's too dark. I might retry it with some different colors, but that didn't make the cut. So hopefully tonight when I do a bit of designing, then I'm going to have better ideas and no fails, because I don't want any fails. All will be 24. Is it 24, Leanne, or 20? I thought maybe it was 20 in a pack. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, and I will be back on Monday with another live, and next Thursday with the second project in the Memorial Blooms card class at home. And then I don't know, I might be on the road, but like I said, if I'm going to be traveling, I'll pre-record some videos so you won't miss out. Thanks everybody for tuning in. I hope you liked tonight's project. If you are my customer this month, then you are going to be getting all the card kits to make each project, and those are going to get in the mail this weekend, hopefully Friday, and if not Friday, Saturday, which is crazy because I never get card kits out that fast. So this is part of prepping for spring break, but also me trying to be a little bit more organized in 2025. So Canadian customers, if you are shopping with me and you spend $50, a minimum of $50, then you're going to get card kits mailed to your door. All right, I think that's it. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Thanks everybody who are throwing in the comments what's happening with the cardstock and the price increase, and I'm sorry to bring bad news. So stock up, people, if it's important to you. And I will see everybody hopefully on Monday. Have a good night.